Hello boys and girls, and welcome to another Sunday Million Highlight show from PokerStars.tv. This one for the 3rd of April 2011, and another huge field. What else would you expect? 8,600 runners and change, generating a $1.7 million plus prize pool. There are the players with their chip stacks at the start of the final table, and we very quickly lose Galloway 55 from the United States, $13,000 and change for him in 9th. So we'll start by watching hand 25, and we're 8-handed, playing 250,000, 500,000 blinds. I'm Nick Wealthall, and I will be for the duration of the show. Zagaboy with ace queen of spades is going to shove. A nice standard opening shove to get us underway, to loosen us up. 9s for John FR. Some of you may know that screen name. Over $1 million in online earnings. Looking to add to that in a substantial way, and he will overshove. So we'll start things off with a race. Let's see if it's one of the great ones. It's roughly 50-50, just confirmation of that. If you're new to racing in No Limit Hold'em, strap yourselves in. And it's an interesting one. Ace Queen of Spades gives Zagaboy the nut flush and the gut shot. Lots of outs, but the 9s with the major sweat. Zagaboy will be out if he doesn't catch, but he does catch. That's how we do a classic No Limit Hold'em race. Zagaboy with over 9 million chips and the double up. And it came out dramatically for him as well, which is a nice bonus. On we go, the very next hand. And Zagaboy has the Doyle Brunson, which he'll fold. Round to, well, I'm going to call him Marco, because I'm sensitive to factors. Marco folds. Shipless please folds. John FR is also out, all the way around to the button. Who also folds? Let's have a blind war. Private pile will shove. Well, as you can see, Otilus extremely short stacked, so this is a pretty automatic call. And it's not a big pot, but it is a big pot for Otilus from Greece. Needs to win this to stay alive in the million. Does have the best hand, and that doesn't change anything. So Otilus with the ace high, no longer. Private pile catches the lady on the turn. That elusive little minx brings him just under 4 million chips and knocks out Otilus from Greece. Great run through the tournament and a shade under $19,000 for his trouble. We're 7-handed. We've skipped on a little bit, but we're still playing 250,000, 500,000. Private Grover pile. We'll open it to 1.1 million. If you don't know which movie it is, I can't help you. You need to re-educate yourself in movies. Probably won't impact on your poker too much. Just a life point for you. You want to do well at dinner parties and with the ladies. Marco thinking about Queen Jack offsuit. Kind of a weird hand and situation with an under-the-gun raise. He's going to 3-bet, which is an interesting decision. Obviously thinks Private Pile's capable of either opening light or folding with these stacks. And decision back on Private Pile with not the kind of hand you want to face a 3-bet with. It looked a lot stronger before it got re-raised. It's that type of thing, isn't it? And he has opened under the gun, whatever that's worth. And he does fold. I don't think there's too much wrong with that, to be honest. Didn't really like any of his options there. So nice timing from Marco. He'll collect the pot. On we go, hand 39, same blind level, and a real hand for Plaque 20. 2 red kings, Zagaboy, with 9 million in chips, gives him 18 big blinds. Ace-Jack again. How to play Ace-Jack? Well, he folds, and you can kind of understand it, because, again, with Plaque's stack, he basically is putting them all in. So it's that, or I don't really like flat calling. So Zagaboy does fold. John FR, no such wimpiness. In goes the money. That's how you make $1 million online. Find the all-in button. It's not going to work out terribly well this time. I appreciate that. But non-results thinking. Put it in with 8. How badly wrong can it go? Well, we're going to find out. Plaque with kings in a dominating spot. Looks like he's going to double up here through John FR. There's 15 million in the middle. And that's fine. Nobody has a spade, so just an 8 on the river to turn this one round. 5 of diamonds doesn't change anything. And Plaque will get himself up to over 15 million. We've got a really tight final table. No one dominating stack. Lots of decently sized ones. Next couple of levels will be crucial. Zagaboy with Ace-Jack, today's theme hand. You're taking notes, put Ace-Jack at the top. Probably save as Ace-Jack hands. Something like that. He's moved in, and that's pretty standard. What has he got? We've moved up to 300,000, 600,000, so it's about 13 big blinds. And John FR with, I think, an equally standard shove with tens. He's been involved in a lot of hands, John FR. Needs this one to win, though, otherwise he's going to be really short stacked. Zagaboy is the player who's all in. It is a race. Tens have the edge. A fun flop for all you race fans. Set of tens for John FR. Nut flush draw for Zagaboy. Ace won't change anything. Can catch a queen as well. And diamond will do it for him. What a big card that is for Zagaboy from Brazil. Doubles up, saves his tournament, and John FR is now short stacked, and really not too much he can do about it. Just lost a couple of showdown hands where it really doesn't have too much option. And this could help him, though. Does have kings. And will not mess about. Ren 02 might well give him action. This looks like a good spot for John. Ren's just thinking about this. He's from Utrecht in the Netherlands. And he'll just shove. And I think that's pretty standard. John FR can be putting his money in very wide. Renz is not going to like it when he sees it. But it's a good spot for John to turn round the tide of his final table. Pretty much everything's gone opposite to the way he'd want so far. In dominating spot. Oh, not anymore. And it's cruel when it happens. Almost 20% of the time it will. That's the set for Renz. And now John FR needs a king on the river to save himself. Can't get it done. And so the big online winner will add $34,000 to his bankroll and poker CV. But he would have had his eye on something a lot bigger. You've got your eye on something a lot bigger. We'd like to give you a free shot at it. Just enter our free roll. It's easy to do. Hit Tawny free roll on the Stars software and search for online. It's down there somewhere. There it is. Online poker show free roll. Give you the password to enter later in the show.
Negreanu, 4 WSOP bracelets, second highest ever tournament earnings. Mercier, 6 major tour titles, Bluff Magazine's Player of the Year. Kata, reigning WSOP main event champion, the youngest ever. All of them will be at the PCA, the biggest 10-day festival of poker on the planet. Join them. Qualify now at PokerStars.com, the world's largest poker site.
6 players left in the Sunday Million, and all of them will be relieved to see the exit of online superstar John FR. These are the 6 remaining. Plaque would change places with Marco on the leaderboard in the next few hands, but no dramatic developments and no really dominant chip stack. This is one of those which is up for grabs. Playing 300,000, 600,000 as we watch hand 64, and pretty shallow stacked this final table, with the big stack Zagaboy having just over 30 big blinds. So we should see some more all-in confrontations until the stacks get a bit more consolidated. And that's what's known as the commentator's curse, because we're going to see a flop with a bit of small ball poker from Zagaboy. He decides to flat call in position with Ace-Jack. We can see he's in a dominating spot, and neither player's helped by the flop, so this will be interesting. Renz has a decision as to whether to continue his aggression or not. He was the pre-flop raiser, so if he bets here, he is continuing his aggression. They should have some sort of phrase that describes that more succinctly. We'll work on that. He does make the 1.5 million chip bet. It's called. And 5 on the turn doesn't change anything. I mean, this board looks like it hits Zagaboy more than it hits Renz, because Zagaboy's flat call pre-flop. Especially with the float, if that's what it is, on the flop from Zagaboy. May have thought his Ace-Jack is just good a lot of the time. Renz has a gut shot. He can hit an 8 for a straight, a small factor, and he will continue his aggression. So, strong stuff from Renz 02. And Zagaboy's options are slim here. I mean, calling this would be a little bit sort of calling station-y. He might get aggressive. He might try and represent something. No, he does get out of the way. So strong play from Ren 02 from the Netherlands. And he'll take down the pot. And we'll move on. Hand 65. Ace-jack all over the shop. Trying to get that little bit more exposure for itself. Trying to move from the mid-rank to the premium level of hands. See how it gets on. Zagaboy opens up the pot with it in the cutoff. And Rens, who just bullied him around, has 9-3 in the big blind. And he's thinking about something exciting. When you've got 9-3 and you think this long, you're probably not going to flat call, you know. There you go, the 3-bet. Now Zagaboy must know he's opened this from the cutoff. And he has a pretty big hand considering what he could have. He just flat calls. Interesting. I wonder what his plan is for the rest of the hand. Very, very similar situation to the last hand we watched. Rens is the aggressor. He actually has the best hand now with his pair of threes. And the chip stacks are interesting because, so Rens bets here, and if Zagaboy wants to raise him, he's basically committing all his chips. So, not quite sure what his plan is now that he's missed. Well, this is the problem. If you flat call pre-flop and your only plan is to either hit or fold, if Zagaboy was to get aggressive here, it would probably work. It'd be a really weird spot for Rens with the pair of threes, having 3-bet with such a funky hand. But no, Zagaboy folds and Rens will take it down, and he's found his mark, and he's abusing Zagaboy just a little bit. Hand 71, 400,000, 800,000 is your new blind level. Welcome it in. Little round of applause at home. And same way as before, Zagaboy in the cutoff, this time with Jack 10 suited. And again, he'll open proceedings. This time it's just a minimum raise. Marco will get out of the way. Ship this please will also fold. And can Rens keep doing the same thing? Always an interesting dynamic when you force the player to fold a couple of times. Rens does have a hand with a bit of value with King 9, but he's not going to mess about. He's just going to put the money in. Well, you're just watching bullying. Call some kind of bullying helpline because Zagaboy's just getting shoved from pillar to post. This is no fun for him. And he has to fold again. And, well, Rens technically had the best hand, but really it's just pure aggression that's got him these chips. Around about 30 million now for Rens 02. Here's your chip leader. And the short stack private pile in the little blind here with ace-queen. Depends whether Rens decides to open this button as to what happens. Well, yeah, he does open it. And private pile has an easy shove. And Plack can get out of the way with King Jack. So now Rens has to call not too much, really. A couple of million and change. He will do that. And private pile has the best hand, but he's the player at risk. Well, that's a perfectly safe flop for him. That's a perfectly not safe turn. No.